Hello everyone and welcome to part 2 of Hybrid Drums Explained. Today I'm going to go through my basic setup, basically my essentials must have every time I play a gig. These are the electronic drums that I absolutely want to have with me, and then I'm going to go through getting them connected and then ultimately taking that signal and getting it out to front of house, as well as getting it into your ears or putting a click into your ears using your electronic drums. So to get started, my basic setup consists of a BT1 bar trigger. Again, these are amazing triggers. The thing I love about them is these things can live on your drums. You take out one of your lugs, you place this right in here, and put the lug back in, and tighten it back up. And now that pad is mounted, and I don't have to worry about it anymore. Whenever I set up my snare drum, my pad is exactly where I want it to be at all times. My other favorite pad is the KT10 kick trigger, and this guy lives right here by my kick drum. On my kick drum, I keep an RT10 kick trigger. Now, this is really important. When you're setting up your kick trigger, pick out where it's going to be and leave it there. Set it there the same way every single time. I do not recommend keeping the kick trigger on your drum when it's stored, just in case it gets hit. It can get broken. The piezo crystals in here are kind of fragile, so you want to take it off, but you want to find a place. So what I do is, from my pedal, my actual bass drum pedal, I count up 1, 2 lugs, and I put this right on top of the second lug, just barely touching it. When you install it, you want to push it into the head. You don't want to force it. You don't want to leave a nice indent into your rim, but you definitely want to make good contact with this foam cone right here and your drum head. So I'm going to take that, go right to that second lug, push it in, and tighten it up. Alright, my absolute must-have go-to module when I'm out and about is the Roland TM2. This is an amazing module. It's just 2 channels. The thing I love about it is in the front there's an SD card. You can load up all your own sounds, samples, backing tracks, everything onto this card right here, and then you have it all with you at all times. It's easy to update because you can just pop it into the computer, put a new track or put a new sound on it, put it in here, and it loads it, reads it right off the card. Super fast, super reliable. A great way to get this mounted is one of these, pretty much standard. Every drummer has one of these, just 2 pipe clamps. I like to keep it right here on my hi-hat, just so it's nice and close. When you're tightening this up, a lot of times these are plastic, so you don't want to tighten them too tight, just snug enough so it's not going to go anywhere. Alright, let's get all this connected here. These are all my cables I use on the road. So the first one I got in here is a splitter cable, and if you watched part 1, you were probably expecting to see the splitter cable, because that's what I use to split the sounds between my kick trigger and my KT10. Remember, I have 1 input and I have 2 different sounds that I want to go to, so I can actually set that up as 2 single zone triggers with this splitter cable. It has a stereo end on one end and a mono on the other. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the stereo end, I'm going to plug it into number 1 on my module, and I'm going to take the 2 mono ends and I'm going to plug them in on the trigger and on the KT10. Now when you're plugging these in, something to be mindful of is there's tip and ring. Tip is the sound you're going to get if you use just a mono cable. Ring is the sound you're going to get if you use both the mono and the stereo cable. So for me, I plug the tip into the pedal, and I plug the ring into the bass drum trigger. The reason I do that is because if I have an accident or something happens to this cable and it stops working and I need to replace it with just a standard mono instrument cable, I will lose my bass drum trigger, but I won't lose this sounds here. And to me that's more important because I will always have the actual acoustic sound of my bass drum, but if I lose this sound, I could be losing some really important sounds that I need for the part. So I always put that on the tip and I put the bass drum on the ring. If you're using two pads, split the same way, it's the same general idea. You need to take the most important pad, make sure that's the tip, and then the other one, make that the ring. Alright, next up, I'm going to go ahead and plug in the BT1, sorry. Now again, this is a dual zone pad, even though it's only single sound. So you want to make sure that you have this nice stereo cable. Should be 2 rings on the cable. Place one in here. Place the other one in on number 2. Alright, last cable that I have in here. It's just a little 2-channel snake. Got left and right on both sides. And I'm going to take left and right. And I'm going to put them here on the left and right outputs. Now, how to get this sound out from the module to front of house. What you want to do is you want to take these guys and you want to put them onto a set of direct boxes. Plug one into one direct box, one into another direct box, and that way you have a stereo sound. If you're just running mono, you can go out of left into a single box. I also use a different trick with this. I actually use a click track panned one way, and I use the E-drums panned the other way. So the drums are one way, the click and the backing track, or excuse me, the drums and backing track are one way and the click is the other. So what I actually do is I have this really cool, it's called an MA400 micro mixer. Behringer makes this. So what I do is I take the output from my single direct box, from my left channel, because that's where all the drums and backing track are coming from. Plug that into here, then this has an output. This is what I want to feed to front of house. This also has a second input that says monitor input. I have my click sent to the right channel, so I'm just going to go ahead and plug that right in. Now I have a mix between, these are my E-drums and this is my click. So I can mix myself, I can hear myself, and then I can just plug my in-ear monitors in right here. So if you're using in-ear monitors or you're monitoring the click straight from the TM2, that's a really, really good practice. Something else to think about bringing along is you are going to need power on the stage. So have one of these handy dandy power strips. A good high quality metal power strip is what you want to have. Nice 8-12-foot cable. Also, you're going to want to make sure you update your tech rider, your stage plot, letting venues know that you need power at the drums within 6 feet of where the drummer is at. Usually not too hard to get it there. If you're playing a place you're unfamiliar with, I do suggest maybe bringing a long extension cord if you're not familiar with the place, just to make sure. Should be something your band is carrying anyway, but make sure, again, that stage plot says specifically, one, that you need an XLR output, or 2 XLR outputs, or however many outputs you're using from your electronic drums. You need that at the drum station. Also let them know that you need power within 6 feet of Drum World, and you'll be good to go. Tune in next time. We're going to go through some settings on the module, show you how to dial in these settings and get it sounding just great. Thanks, and you guys have a great day.